Hello students, today we are here to discuss our chapter in macroeconomics named Some Basic Concept of Macroeconomics for class 12th Commerce. These concepts must be known to every student of commerce, especially of 12th Commerce. In this chapter or in today's class, we will discuss the following topics. First, goods, types of goods, classification of consumption goods, producer goods, investment, types of investment and their significance. First of all, what are goods? Goods are tangible items made up of material or made up of any metal. These goods can be classified in different categories on different bases. First of all, goods can be classified on the basis of end use of the goods. On the basis of their end use, goods can be classified in two categories, in two types. Final goods and second one are intermediate goods. Another classification is based on the end users. That is consumption goods and second one is capital goods. Actually, the second classification is for final goods. Now, come back to final goods and intermediate goods. What are the differences in final goods and intermediate goods? Or how can we identify which goods are final goods and which goods are intermediate goods? Final goods. Final goods are those goods which come out from the production process. Means now no production process can be organized on such goods. No value addition can be done for these goods. These are not under the production process. Second point, these goods are ready to use by their final users. Means these are not used as raw material or not for further resale. These goods are included while we estimate the income. On the other hand, intermediate goods are those goods which are still under the production process. On these goods, value addition can be done, their value can be increased by having production process. While we estimate national income, value of these goods will not be included in its estimation because it leads to problem of double counting or overestimation of national income. Expenditure on final goods is known as final expenditure and expenditure on intermediate goods is known as intermediate expenditure or intermediary cost. Final goods are of two types, consumption goods and capital goods. We also here take some examples. For example, milk purchased by your mother for making a cup of tea is known as final goods because the tea prepared by your mother will not be used as raw material or not for further sale. But if the milk is purchased by tea shop owner for making tea and to sell it to its customer, then it is intermediate goods. Or tractor purchased by the company for resale, then it is called intermediate goods. Now, there is importance to know the basic difference between final goods and intermediate goods. Means why we need to know the difference, the distinction between final goods and intermediate goods. Because for the proper estimation of national income. If we do not know the basic difference between final goods and intermediate goods, it leads to problem of double counting and we have overestimated national income. Now the question is, what is problem of double counting? Problem of double counting is the situation when we count the value of a good, same good, more than once in the same calculation. Now, another classification. This classification is on the basis of end users. On this basis, goods can be classified as consumption goods and capital goods. Consumption goods or consumer goods are those goods which are used by the final consumers, means the households. On the other hand, capital goods are those final goods which are used by producer. These are final producer goods. Consumer goods lead to direct satisfaction of the consumers, but intermediate goods do not lead to direct satisfaction of the consumers, but these help to make the consumer goods. Consumer goods are used by the final consumers when these are purchased, and producer goods are for further production. Expenditure on consumer goods is known as final consumption expenditure, and expenditure on capital goods is known as investment expenditure. Consumer goods raise the standard of living of the people, and capital goods shows production capacity of the economy, which leads to GDP growth. Now, the consumer goods again can be classified in how many parts? These consumer goods or consumption goods can be classified in 4 parts. First, durable consumer goods. Second is semi-durable consumer goods. Third, perishable consumer goods or the consumer goods of single act of use. And fourth, services. Now come to their classification. First classification is durable consumer goods. Durable consumer goods are those which can last for several years, जो लंबे समय तक चलती हैं. These are of relatively high values. इनकी वैल्यूज ज्यादा होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हाउस, व्हीकल्स, फर्नीचर, washing machine, etc. Second classification or the second category is semi-durable consumer goods. These goods last for 1 year or little more than 1 year, and these are of not so high value relatively to durable consumer goods. It includes crockery, clothes, plastic furniture, etc. Then comes the third category. This is the non-durable consumer goods or perishable goods, or the goods are of single act of use. Means these can be used only once. If we want to use them again, we have to take the new units. For example, all the eatable items like as milk, vegetables, etc. Then comes the services. Services are intangible goods. These are not made up of any material. These can't be seen or these can't be touched. These can only be realized. Now, what is the basic difference between goods and services? There is a time difference between consumption of goods and their production. But in services, production of services and consumption of services done at the same time. Now, come to the next heading, that is producer goods. What are the producer goods? Producer goods are those goods which are used by the producer during the production process. Now these are of two type. ये दो तरह की हैं. Final producer goods means the capital goods, and intermediate goods or raw material. Capital goods कौन सी होती है? The capital goods are those goods which are used by the producers for several years repeatedly and are of relatively high values. These are fixed assets of the producers. ये producer की fixed assets हैं, like as tools, machines, equipment, etc., which can be used for several years. And expenditure on these goods is known as investment expenditure. Now come to the other part. These are intermediate goods or raw materials. These are used by the producer during the production process as raw material. These are of single act of use, like as coal, electricity during the production process, or other raw material. Expenditure on these goods is known as intermediate expenditure. Come to our next question. Who are consumers? Consumers are those who purchase final goods and services from the market, either for their own use or for their family use or for the use of others. Who are included in the consumers? Consumers include three components. First, households. Second, government. And third are non-profit organization. Household purchase goods and services from the market for their own use, to satisfy their own needs, to satisfy their wants. Government purchase final goods and services for collective benefit, for the benefit of poor and for the benefits of all, as well as for defense personnel. Third, non-profit organizations. These also purchase consumer goods for charity, like at charitable hospitals, charitable institutes, etc. Now, aggregate consumption expenditure in the economy, or the total consumption expenditure in the economy, can be calculated with the formula final consumption expenditure by household plus final consumption expenditure by government plus final consumption expenditure by non-profit organization. That gives us estimated aggregate consumption expenditure. Now, the investment. What is investment? Investment means increase in the stock of capital during an accounting year. How it can be shown? It can be denoted with I. I means investment equal to delta K. K means capital. So delta K shows change in capital stock. Investment is also known as capital formation. It is the process of total production of capital goods in an economy during an accounting year. Now, what are the components of investment? What are the components of investment? Components of investment can be divided in two parts. First, fixed investment, and second is inventory investment. Now, before going further, we first of all know the difference between fixed investment, fixed capital formation, and inventory stock. Fixed capital formation or fixed investment is the expenditure of the producer on the purchase of fixed assets during an accounting year. It is a flow concept as it is measured within the duration of time. On the other hand, inventory stock is the stock kept by producers of mainly three items. First, stock of raw material, stock of semi-finished goods, and stock of finished goods. It is a stock concept because it is measured at a particular point of time. Now you may raise a question, how to calculate the fixed capital formation during an accounting year. So it's a very simple method. Now how to calculate the fixed capital formation? Simple method we can use formula fixed capital formation in the end of the accounting year minus fixed capital formation in the beginning of the year. Means closing stock of fixed assets at the end of the year minus opening stock of the fixed assets in the beginning of the year. Now, what are its significance? What is the importance to know the fixed capital formation? Keep in your mind, more fixed capital formation leads to production capacity of the producers, which again leads to high level of growth and high economic growth rate or high GDP growth rate. Means it enhances the production capacity, result we have higher economic growth or GDP growth. Now second is inventory stock. Inventory stock is also known as change in stock. It by you how to calculate the change in stock of inventory. The method is completely simple. Change in inventory stock equal to closing inventory stock at the end of the year minus opening inventory stock at the beginning of the year. Or a simple method, change in stock equal to closing stock minus opening stock. Now what are its significance? Why it is important? What is the importance of inventory stock? Inventory stock shows, or change in inventory stock shows us the production capacity of the producer. First of all, the stock of raw material helps to get regular supply of raw material to the producers. Second, it saves, it protects the producers from the uncertainty of the market, especially in market price of raw material. And third, it helps to producer to maintain its regular supply of finished goods in the market, or to cope with the increasing demand of his product in the market. Now this inventory stock is of two types. First is wanted inventory stock and another one is unwanted inventory stock. Wanted inventory stock is also known as desired or ex ante or planned inventory stock. On the other hand, the unwanted stock is also known as unplanned or undesirable inventory stock. Planned inventory stock is the stock of finished goods, semi-finished goods and raw material which is planned by the producer during an accounting year. It is willingly prepared by the producer. On the other hand, unplanned, undesirable or unwanted inventory stock arises because of decrease in demand of the product in the market, or it is not willingly prepared by the producer. It arises because the producer is unable to sell the estimated supply of his product in the market. Now, investment can also be classified in two parts on the basis of depreciation. What are these two parts? First, the gross investment, and second is net investment. Gross investment, it is the investment expenditure made by producer on the purchase of new assets plus replacement of torn out assets, यानी कि वो assets जो खराब हो गई हैं उन्हें replace करने के लिए प्लस नए assets को खरीदने के लिए जो producer खर्च करता है वो आपका gross investment है. So it is the total expenditure made by producer on the purchase of new assets or plus replace the torn out assets or worn out assets. Net investment is the expenditure made by producer only on the purchase of new assets. Means gross investment include replacement cost or depreciation, but the net investment does not include the concept of depreciation. Gross investment does not show the net addition to the existing stock of the fixed assets. On the other hand, net investment only shows the net addition to the stock of fixed assets or stock of capital stock goods. It means how to calculate depreciation? Simple. To find out depreciation, net investment is subtracted from gross investment. Means depreciation equal to gross investment minus net investment. That gives us how much assets are depreciated. Now what is the importance? What is the significance of net investment? First, high rate of net investment means high availability of capital per unit of labor. Means it increases the efficiency of the workers. Efficiency of the labor. Now the words we use, the depreciation. What is this depreciation? It is also called consumption of fixed capital or replacement cost. It refers to the fall in value of fixed assets due to its continuous use because of three main reasons. First, normal wear and tear of the assets. Second, accidental damage. And third, expected obsolescence. Significance of this depreciation, that gives us the concept how much expenditure the producer has to make to meet out that worn out assets or depreciated assets to have continuous production process to maintain its fixed assets. To maintain its fixed assets, every producer has to make a provision of depreciation reserve fund. What is depreciation fund? It is the provision of fund made by producers which is used by him or her to replace worn out assets during an accounting year. That's why it is also called replacement investment. Now what is the importance of this depreciation reserve? इसे बनाने की जरूरत क्या है? प्रोड्यूसर क्यों बनाता है? Keep in your mind, lack of depreciation reserve fund means lack of replacement investment. Lack of replacement investment means fall in overall gross investment. It implies fall in income and employment, result economic slowdown in the economy and low equilibrium trend. Means AD equal to AS but not at full employment level. Okay, this is the end of the topic. Now be at home, stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. Thank you for today.